I welcome you tonight with a quiet breath. My voice comes soft and steady. The room feels still. A lamp throws warm light across a table. A Bible rests within reach. I invite you to join me with an open heart. Come as you are. Leave the day where it belongs. Let the next minutes be a gentle space for rest. Settle where you are. Find a posture that feels safe. Let the weight of your body meet the chair or bed. Soften your shoulders. Close your eyes if that helps, if closing them feels hard. Let your gaze soften towards the floor or the ceiling. Breathe slowly. Inhale for a count that feels natural. Exhale and let a long sigh become permission to relax. Each breath is a small step towards stillness. I place a hand on the cover of the Bible. This gesture is simple. It is an offering of calm. Tonight, I read not to instruct but to soothe. I read to bring gentle company. The words I share aim to mend. They aim to remind of mercy that reaches in the dark. They aim to steady a mind that thinks too fast. They aim to let hope sit beside you like a kind friend. Imagine a small lamp in a quiet room. The light is close enough to warm your hands. It does not glare. It does not demand. It simply stays. That image holds the tone for our time. I ask you to hold nothing heavy in your mind. If worries come, notice them as if they are leaves on a slow river. Watch them pass. You do not need to chase them. You do not need to push them away. Allow the current of ease to carry them downstream. Tonight is a reading for healing. Healing here means more than fixing. It means rest. It means mercy settling in places that feel worn. It means a gentle realignment of heart and breath. No argument will rise here. No debate. The words will come soft. Like rain on a roof. They will fall where they are needed. Some lines will land in places you expected. Some will surprise you with quiet relief. Let both kinds be welcome. I do not ask for perfect faith. I ask for openness. An open heart is not empty. It is honest. It is brave enough to receive. It is gentle enough to rest. If doubt is present, make room for it. Doubt does not disqualify the moment. It simply arrives like a visitor. Offer it a seat. Give it a glance without clinging. The aim is not to erase doubt, but to let mercy be present alongside it. If sleep seems far away, do not force it. This time does not demand sleep as proof of benefit. The voice will fold around you like a blanket. Whether sleep finds you or not, this moment serves the soul. Many find relief simply by listening. Some hear a line that softens a thought. Others notice the body unwinding. All are welcome. All are cared for. Listen as if you are beside a slow stream. Hear the water over stones. Each word is a small ripple. The ripples create a calm surface. They steady the current of the day. They invite the mind to follow a softer pace. If your thoughts wander, notice the wandering without judgment. Gently return attention to the sound of the words, like coming back to a familiar path. I set the pace slow and steady. The reading will unfold in a measured way. Each sentence sits with space around it. Allow pauses to be part of the healing. In the pauses, breathe deeper. Let those pauses be a place where mercy can enter. I will not rush through phrases. There is no hurry here. The night stretches in a good way, and each moment keeps a gentle meaning. Tonight I read with the hope that Christ's mercy will surface in small, tangible ways. Mercy looks like rest. Mercy looks like forgiveness offered to a tired mind. Mercy looks like the calm assurance that one is not alone. These truths are not heavy teachings for study tonight. They are soft invitations to rest into. If a line suggests hope, take it as an invitation to hold for a while. If another line invites trust, treat it like a hand offered across a small gap. Picture a window that opens onto a quiet garden. The air carries a faint scent of night flowers. A breeze moves a leaf. That small movement is enough to remind of life. The same way, a short phrase can remind of steadiness. A single sentence can be enough to shift the rhythm of breath. Keep that image in mind as the reading begins. Small things can change the interior weather. If tears come, let them come without shame. Tears are part of mercy. They are small rivers that clear the path inside. If you feel numb, pay attention to the tiny signals that say alive, a flutter, a sigh, a shift in breath. These are signs that healing is present even when it feels distant. This time receives both the visible and the hidden responses. There is space for both. I speak with gentleness because the heart often responds best to soft tones. The reading does not demand response. It offers it. You may whisper a short prayer in your own words. You may simply breathe and listen. There is no wrong way to be here. The only aim is rest. The only aim is mercy. The only aim is a renewed sense of hope in Christ. Tonight, the Bible is a companion book rather than an exam. It sits as a friend on the bedside table. Its words are like wrapped bread for a tired traveler. They feed in small measures. They warm a chill. They remind of a steady presence. If you have questions about big things, hold them lightly. This hour does not solve every doubt. It offers a safe place to lay them down for a while. In that laying down, some wounds find room to breathe. I will pause between passages. Each pause is a place for reflection. You do not need to fill the silence. The silence is active. It works quietly. It is like dark soil resting before spring. Seeds of hope lie beneath. The pauses, let them wake without pressure. Trust the rhythm. Allow time to notice what the words touch inside. If sleep comes, I will lower my voice and slow even more. If sleep keeps you distant, I will continue with the same care. The reading is not about performance. It is about presence. The voice is a gentle lighthouse beam. It keeps steady in the dark. The beam does not call attention to itself. It simply helps one find the shore. We will keep the time free from heavy doctrine and heated argument. The focus is mercy, comfort, and hope in Christ. These are simple threads that stitch the evening into healing cloth. If curiosity arises about deeper theological questions, save them for another time. Tonight, let the themes be soft and close forgiveness that relaxes, love that steadies, a presence that does not leave. These images serve the immediate relief of heart and body. Let gratitude be small and specific. Think of one small thing that felt good today. It might be a warm cup, a kind word, a moment of shade. Hold that small image for a beat. Let it sit like a pebble in the palm. Gratitude does not need to be grand to be real. Tiny stones hold meaning when noticed gently. If pain is present in the body, notice where it sits without trying to change it right away. Breathe into that place. Imagine warmth like a soft cloth laid over it. This is not a cure for all claim. It is an invitation to companion the pain with kindness. Sometimes the kindest response to hurt is a gentle presence beside it. As I prepare to begin the first passage, I remind you of one steady truth. For this hour, you are not alone. This is not a hollow phrase. It is meant to settle like a path underfoot. Whether the night holds peace or unrest, someone reads with the hope that mercy will touch. The words will come slow. They will not demand. They will offer. Now, make one last small adjustment. Let the hands rest. Let the jaw soften. Let the brow release its small tensions. Take a long, easy breath. Let the exhale be a small surrender to the night. In this quiet, the reading will begin. The voice will move through passages that bring rest. Each sentence will be like a hand guiding you toward a quieter place inside. I open the Bible with a steady calm. The pages make a small sound, like a breath. That sound is a gentle announcement that the time has begun. As the words unfold, you may imagine a path lit by soft lamps. Walk it slowly. Keep pace with the voice. Allow the sentences to land where they will, and let the rest follow. When the reading is done for this session, I will leave a moment of silence. That silence will be full and intentional. It will be a place for whatever comes next: sleep, prayer, reflection. For now, simply listen. Receive what comes. Let mercy find a place to settle. I begin now, reading with a calm heart and a gentle pace. The first lines will guide the night into healing. Stay present in the listening. Trust that this hour holds room for every small pulse of life within you. Let the quiet work. Let hope find its way in small, steady steps. I let the pages settle beneath my fingers. A small rustle marks the rhythm. The room keeps its hush. The lamp breathes soft light across the paper. I begin to read slowly. The first passage I share pictures a quiet field. A shepherd walks close behind. The steps are steady. The flock feels safe. The text moves through simple scenes: green grass, still water, a path that bends through a shaded place. The shepherd does not hurry. There is care in every footfall. The image rests like a hand on a shoulder. It asks nothing. It simply holds. I pace the words so the images can breathe. Pause after the green grass. Pause when the water comes into view. Imagine wet stones under bare feet. Imagine the sound of a soft stream. Let the scene sink into a slow place inside the chest. The shepherd's presence is not loud. It is a steady light along a narrow path. Allow that steadiness to become something felt, not merely thought. Next, another passage invites the weary in. It does not demand a list of accomplishments. It does not require an explanation. The invitation is warm and plain. Come when the yoke feels heavy. Come when shoulders are tight. Come when the mind runs and cannot rest. The passage offers rest as a simple gift. It speaks of learning what it means to be gentle and humble. It pictures a calm heart taught to walk with patience. Read like a lullaby. Let the promise of rest settle without pressure. I slow my voice further. Each phrase lands like a small stone placed on a windowsill. The stones do not build a wall. They form a pattern that pleases the eye. Rest is described as a gentle change of pace. The body can lean back. The mind can soften its hold. The spirit can feel a lightness that did not exist a moment before. Keep breathing with those words. Let the breath match the pace of the sentences. Another text unfolds the theme of steadfast love. It speaks of memories that return in quiet seasons. A faithful presence remembers the wrongs and still moves toward reconciliation. Mercy keeps returning to the places that need it most. The tone here is tender and sure. It does not sweep away suffering with a quick phrase. It simply sits beside it and offers what is needed for mending. Imagine a wound washed with warm water. It is not a fix all at once. It is care that continues until healing happens. I read the lines slowly, so the idea of returning mercy can be met gently. There is room for sorrow here. There is also room for hope that is patient and real. Think of a candle kept close on a stormy night. The flame does not banish the storm. It makes the room easier to find. The mercy offered is that small flame. A short passage reminds that the world sometimes feels like a place of shifting ground. Mountains move. Rivers change. Still, there is a steady refuge. The text paints a picture of a quiet stronghold. It does not promise the absence of trouble. It promises a place to rest when the world tilts. Imagine a stone house in a field of wind. Inside, the air is calm. The structure is not elaborate. It is safe. The passage invites one to sit in that refuge and breathe. I slow the reading at that point. The silence that follows is a small room where thought can settle. Use that silence to notice the points where the body feels lightened. Focus on a single part of the body and imagine the warmth of the refuge settling there. The breath deepens without command. Another section talks about mercy, like water poured on thirsty ground. When the soil is dry, a little water makes a big difference. Roots breathe again. Tiny shoots find courage. The scene is small and patient. It shows that mercy is not always dramatic. Often, mercy comes as a steady drip that, over time, brings life. The passage invites trust in the slow work. I keep the tempo gentle, pause between each image of water. Let the idea of slow nourishment remain. If the mind wants a quick fix, bring it back to the drip and the root. Trust what is gradual. A soft portion reads about being carried through night. It does not promise that stars will not fade. It promises that hands remain beneath. The picture is not of a perfect journey. It is of a supportive presence when the legs tire. The words suggest a quiet carrying that takes place without ceremony. Imagine a pair of hands steadying an unsure step on a cobbled path. Feel the steadiness as a near thing. close enough to rest against. I lean into the space between sentences here. Those spaces hold a lot. Let them be a place to place a small worry. Put it down like a hat on a peg. It is not discarded forever. It is held for attention later. For now, the tone is waiting and steady. Another reading speaks about forgiveness, cutting a knot of bitterness. It paints the knot as thread tangled around a worn finger. The act of forgiveness loosens the loops. The finger can move. It can feel the warmth of circulation again. This is not a fast untangling. It is patient. The language emphasizes small movements of release. If resentment is present, the passage offers a picture of that knot, slowly coming undone. I pause and encourage a long breath. Let the breath be like the careful pulling of a loose thread. Small, considerate motions. No force. Gentle persistence. A gentle psalm follows. One that remembers the quiet joys of simple living. It names bread, and the table, the sound of friendly voices. Rest after Labor. The passage keeps returning to gratitude in little measures. Gratitude here avoids grand gestures. It picks up the small, ordinary things. A warm cup. A window with a gentle breeze. The mention of such things is like turning towards sunlight for a moment. It need not be grand to be true. Read slowly. Hold the small images for a breath. Let the heart notice what recent day held that felt kind. No need to elaborate. Name one small thing inwardly, and let the quiet of the moment hold it. A short reading assures that even in days of confusion, light exists. The metaphor used is, simple dawn breaks slowly, not in a sudden blaze. The earliest light is faint, but enough to see the next step. It suggests beginning, not finishing. It invites trust in incremental clarity. Imagine a sky that first shows a grey line, then a flush, then color. The sequence reassures that all light begins small. I slow each clause. Allow the mind to take the metaphor into its rhythm. If darkness lingers, let the idea of a gradual dawn give permission not to feel rushed into brightness. Another text comforts those who feel unsteady in their faith or hope. It uses the image of a child learning to walk beside a patient teacher. The falls are expected. The returns to standing are encouraged. The teacher's hand is there, mostly to steady and rarely to scold. The passage frames restoration as learning, not a single event. The process is kind. The passage is not heavy with doctrine. It is simple and reassuring. I read with a voice even softer for that section. The warmth in the tone is small but deliberate. Let that warmth land where doubt might be most tender. A final short selection for this session returns to the theme of quiet presence. It pictures a room at night with an open window. The air moves in gentle breaths. Unfinished tasks remain on the table. That is acceptable. The night invites a pause. The text encourages resting without pretending everything is solved. Rest is given as a present in the middle of incompletion. Imagine the open window, the slow wind, and the invitation to sit still. I close the passage with a longer pause. Hold nothing heavy in that silence. Let the body exhale fully. Feel the slow steadiness that reading can provide. Now I fold the pages gently. The sound is small, but final. A moment of gratitude passes quietly. The aim of the reading is not to answer everything. It is to offer a few steady images that can be returned to in the dark. These images act like small anchors. Before the end of this part, I invite one last short practice. Take 3 slow breaths. With the first, notice one place that holds tension. With the second, imagine a warm cloth laid over that place. With the third, let the shoulders drop a fraction. Do not force a big release. Let the body do what it will with gentle permission. I let the lamp remain on for a while. The light is a witness to the night. If sleep comes, allow it to arrive without urgency. If it does not, continue to sit with the images offered: the steady shepherd, the quiet water, the slow mercy, the patient teacher. Each is a small companion. When the silence has held long enough, I whisper a short blessing without script. May mercy be near. May rest come in small measures. May hope find a footpath to travel on. The words are not formal. They are like a soft touch on the forehead. I place the Bible back where it rests. The cover makes a single sound. It is small and final for now. The reading for this part is complete. The pause that follows is intentional and roomy. Use it to sleep, to pray, or simply to breathe. I will return soon with another gentle hour. The next part will continue in the same slow way. For now, settle deeper into the quiet. Trust the small mercies that were read. Allow them to work in the night without hurry. I close this session with a folded silence. The silence is deliberate. It is not empty. It holds a steady presence. Rest now. The room keeps its watch. The lamp waits. The next passage will come when the time is right. I keep the lamp low. The room listens. The Bible lies open where hands can reach it. As before, I settle my voice into a slow rhythm. Every word moves with care. Tonight I bring 2 simple themes: rest that keeps and forgiveness that frees. First, a quiet thought about safety. I speak of a verse that holds a promise of rest. The promise is not loud. It is like a small bell rung at a harbor. It says the night will hold you. It says sleep will come without fear. Imagine the body releasing into a mattress that knows how to bear weight. The breath eases into the chest. The shoulders find the bed that waits. I read the passage in a soft way. The line paints a picture of lying down and sleeping, because safety surrounds. It does not promise a life without hard things. It promises a safe place to lie down. Let that be enough tonight. Picture a simple room by the sea. The house is modest. A single lamp glows. Outside, waves move in a patient rhythm. Inside, a window opens to the sound. That steady sea is not a thread. It is a metronome for the heart. Slow each sentence as it comes. Pause on the idea of sleep. Do not push the eyes closed. Let them fall if they will. Let the face rest without force. If the mind counts reasons why it cannot rest, notice those reasons like clouds passing in front of that lamp. Do not chase them. Do not argue with them. Watch the lamp's light around them. A small breathing practice helps here. Breathe in for a quiet count. Hold just long enough to feel the ribs expand. Breathe out and imagine placing a palm on the place between the ribs and the stomach. The palm is light. It does not press. It only remembers that the body can be soft. Repeat twice more. Each breath is a thread sewing peace into the body. I speak about safety as present, not a distant idea. Safety feels like the hands of someone steady beside the bed. It feels like a home that keeps its door closed against fear for a while. It feels like the knowledge that morning will come, and that the small things undone tonight will not claim the whole of life. Let those images settle. They are not solutions. They are companions for the night. Now the voice moves toward forgiveness. The text I hold up for this is a simple promise of clearing and restoration when truth is said aloud. Confession is not a performance. It is a quiet naming of what is heavy so that it can be lifted. Think of a small basin of water. One by one, stones are placed in. The water shifts. When a name is spoken, it is like a stone going into the basin. The water washes around it. The surface clears little by little. This passage tells of a faithful response to honest words. It promises a clean place in the interior life when truth is spoken softly. The promise does not erase memory. It removes the sharpness that keeps the heart from resting. Imagine a knotted rope around the wrist. Each honest word loosens a strand. The knot does not disappear all at once. It relaxes. The hand regains movement. I read these lines slowly. Let each image land. Naming is the first step. It need not be a litany. It can be one word, one confessional word. Say it internally. Say the small thing that sits heavy. The voice will not demand details. It listens with a steady patience. Forgiveness here is described as faithful. That means the act of saying the truth meets a response that is steady and reliable. The response is like an old lighthouse that has not failed. It does not change when the weather is rough. The inner light comes back on after the confession. Trust that steadiness without feeling compelled to prove it. A brief inward practice follows. Picture a table with 3 candles. Light the first candle and name gently one regret. Do not justify it. Do not expand. Name it and release it into the light. Breathe. Light the second candle and name one way mercy might look for that regret small, almost invisible. Breathe again. Light the third candle and imagine simple cleansing water poured over the hands. Watch the water remove dust and leave smooth skin. Take 3 slow breaths with each image. Use the breaths like a spoon stirring warmth into cold soup. If shame rises, treat it kindly. Shame is different from sorrow. Shame wants hiding. Sorrow wants tending. Give shame a soft roof rather than pushing it away. Let the roof be mercy itself. Mercy does not excuse harm. Mercy makes room for healing. It speaks quiet truths and holds steady hands while change grows. Self-forgiveness deserves a gentle word. It is often harder than asking or receiving. Many hold on to guilt as if it protects from repeating wrongs. Sometimes guilt becomes a teacher that never leaves. Let the idea arise that mercy also turns inward. Imagine folding a small blanket and placing it around the shoulders. No need to pretend everything is fine. The blanket simply warms what is cold. Permit the warmth. The text I read here uses a domestic image, a room where linen is washed and hung. Nothing dramatic. A slow, steady washing. Dirt loosens. The cloth hangs to dry. The day continues. That image matters. Forgiveness that comes in truth is practical and ordinary. It does not demand a dramatic convert. It appears in steady acts of care and in the quiet acceptance of an imperfect past. At this point, stay with a short silence. Let the silence be an open hand. Place whatever weight the confession named into that hand. Imagine it accepted. Imagine the hand returning to the chest with the weight lighter. Hold that lighter feeling for a breath. Do not analyze it. Let the body notice change. Mercy is pictured as repetition, not a single event. Like a kettle kept on a low flame, warmth persists, like a path walked frequently. The ground becomes familiar. The promise in the text is that forgiveness returns when confession is real, and that the return is steady. Think of a clock with a pendulum. The swing may waver. The clock continues to tick. That reliable ticking can be trusted. When regret returns later, meet it the same way. Name it. Let the faithful response be what it is. Avoid the temptation to test forgiveness by making it earn its keep with endless apologies. Rest allows room for finishing the work slowly. The heart is not expected to be fixed in one night. A short meditation on breath removes the urgency. Breathe in for a count. Hold. Breathe out, and imagine the lungs releasing not just air, but a small weight. Repeat twice more. With each exhale, feel lightness bloom in a particular place: the diaphragm, the chest, the shoulders. Let that lightness be proof of small work being done. I avoid long arguments about right and wrong in this time. The aim is mercy and rest. The reading keeps to images and actions. These are what the night needs. Warmth. A place to lie down. An honest word. A steady reply. That simple pattern soothes and readies the body for sleep. Now, a final image to carry into the rest of the hour. Picture a small garden at night. A single lamp hangs over a path. The gardener walks slowly between the beds. One plant leans, and the gardener steadies it. One leaf is torn, and the gardener tucks it under another to protect it. The gesture is quiet and practical. The garden is not perfect. It is cared for. The same care is present for the heart. When forgiveness and safety meet, care is enough for tonight. I close the passage with an invitation. Consider one small action before sleep. It could be a short note to oneself, a whispered truth, a hand placed over the heart. It might be the naming of one regret and the offering of the single word forgiven. It might be a memory of a small kindness received that day. Let this action be low in effort and rich in presence. The lamp dims a fraction. The Bible rests with gentle finality on the table. The cover sighs closed in a soft motion. A long silence follows. The silence is not empty. It is full of the steady things read. Safety, rest, forgiveness, mercy, Each one is like a small stone placed on the windowsill to keep the night company. Before leaving this room for now, take 3 careful breaths. With the first, feel where the body holds the night. With the second, imagine mercy coming like a warm cloth brushed across that place. With the third, settle into the bed of rest that the words promised. No drama. No proof required. I offer a short blessing, without scripted form. May the night find the eyes closed without fear. May the heart meet morning with less weight. May forgiveness arrive quietly and stay for the long haul. These wishes are simple. They are the aim of the hour. I will return in the next part. More gentle passages will come. For now, sleep if it will. Stay awake if needed. Either way, the presence that keeps watch will not leave. The lamp will wait. The Bible will rest. The room will hold the quiet. Good night for now. The lamp is lower still. The room listens. The Bible sits open like a quiet companion. A finger traces a page. The breath in the chest slows into a steady line. Tonight the focus is one small. Steady truth. Grace meets what is worn and makes it new. I hold a verse lightly in the mind. Ephesians 2:8, and let its simple claim become a small anchor for the hour. The verse says, grace is a gift. It names faith as the way to receive. It does not speak of earning. It does not demand lists of achievements. It offers a welcome that rests. I read the thoughts slowly. The pace is patient. No heavy explanation follows. Instead, images arrive like soft lamps along a quiet path. Imagine a coat left at the door. It is heavy with a day. The shoulders sag beneath its weight. Someone comes from the other room and takes it without comment. The coat is folded. It is placed on a chair. The shoulders have space to relax. That action is small and ordinary. It says, without drama, that help is present. The forgiveness that meets the heart acts like that hand. It lifts the coat. It does not need to list every stain to remove it. It folds what was heavy and sets it down. See the hands that fold the coat as steady and familiar. They do not come to judge how the coat became so worn. They come to restore the wearer to rest. That image is not an argument about worth. It is a gentle picture of mercy, doing what hands do care. Now picture a brook behind a house. It runs slow for most of the year. When rain comes, the current grows. Small branches and petals get caught and swirl. A neighbor walks the bank and gathers what floats near the edge. The small pile he sets at the foot of a willow is no grand cleanup. It is enough. Over time, the water runs clearer. The sounds of movement return to the stones. The brook keeps its course. Forgiveness works like that neighbor. It gathers the drift and sets it aside. The stream keeps moving into its good place. Hold that stream for a breath. Let the idea that things can be gathered and not carried any more settle. The body notices how shoulders change when a load is set down. Another picture sits on the bedside table. It is a card with a seal. The seal means acceptance. A letter once stamped with guilt is now closed and returned unopened. The seal is ordinary wax. It bears a simple emblem of welcome. The letter does not vanish into thin air. The words remain, but the posture toward them shifts. The heart is no longer weighed by them. Assurance comes as a small, final folding. This assurance is not fragile. It is not dependent on perfect remembering. It holds when memory returns, when details come back in restless moments. The sealed card is there. It is a place to rest. That steadiness is the mercy the night needs. Mercy also moves like a patient baker early in the morning. The dough has been kneaded and found hard. The baker returns with warm hands and a little water. The dough relaxes. The surface smooths. The work is slow, not frantic. Redemption, in this picture, is careful return to making whole what was stiff. Nothing flashy happens. The oven is still a while away. The kneading itself is enough now. Allow that slow care to comfort the part of the mind that fears it is too late. A small manner follows. Close the eyes for a moment. Picture one burden as an object in the hands. Name it silently. It might be a regret, a fear, a tiredness. Hold the object and feel its weight. Now imagine walking to a table and placing it there. Do not rush the setting down. Lay it gently. Step back. Notice the hands are empty. Breathe. The movement is small. The release is true. Mercy receives what is offered. It does not demand the perfect confession of every angle. It meets the offering with a response that cleanses. That cleansing can be pictured as simple water poured from a small cup over an old coin. The water rinses away the grime. The coin is not new, but the image of being washed is restful. The dirt loosens. The shine returns in quiet places. Forgiveness works in small washings, often unremarked. It does not always come with a trumpet. It comes with a cup in hand and the intentional motion of cleansing. The room breathes with these images. The lamp's light softens the edges of the thoughts. No argument rises. Only assurance settles. There is a practical tenderness in grace. It does not ignore consequence. It meets it with care, like a gardener who prunes a branch. The work of mercy sometimes cuts what is necessary, so new growth can come. The pruning is not punishment. It is a form of shaping that expects future fruit. Imagine careful hands with small shears. A leaf that is brown is removed. A space opens for light. The gardener does not hurry. The garden waits in trust. When burdens lift, the body notices little things. The jaw unclenches ever so slightly. The ribs expand on a breath that used to be shallow. The feet find a place on the floor that feels steady. These are the small proofs of grace at work. They do not erase the past. They change the relationship to it. Past mistakes remain part of the story. They no longer press like a weight that cannot be moved. In the mind, forgiveness creates a tiny corridor of room. Memories that once crowded now pass along a corridor with quiet space on either side. They can be viewed without being swallowed. That corridor is part mercy and part trust. It grows with repeated small acts of acceptance. Practice it by imagining a narrow hallway opening into a soft room. A single memory walks through and rests on a bench. It sits there without filling the whole house. Ephesians 2:8 sits at the center of this hour, like a small lantern. The verse names grace as something given. The language is direct, a gift. Receiving requires faith, not a checklist. A gift is for rest. It is meant to be held and used, not inspected until it is worn out. The image of a wrapped present on a table comes to mind. The wrapping is simple. The hands that offer it say nothing demanding. They only hold it out. Taking it is the right action. That taking is restful rather than taxing. There is freedom in knowing that forgiveness is not a balance sheet, always in need of correction. The ledger that once felt like a list of debts is not meant to be carried to bed. Let it be left in the office. Closed for the night. Practical steps help. A short practice follows. Place one hand over the heart. Imagine a small key in the other. The key opens a little box on the bedside table. Inside the box is a single stone, labeled with a burden. Turn the key and lift the stone out. Set it on the windowsill. Watch it. Sit in the light. And notice how the chest feels lighter. Close the box and set the key down. The box is not locked anymore. The action is not magical. It is a ceremony that the mind can accept. It says aloud in a quiet way, this burden does not have to be carried through the night. Gentle insistence on unearned love follows. Mercy does not operate on conditions that someone must meet first. The steady truth is that acceptance comes before perfect action. The heart is invited to rest on that order. This is not a call to irresponsibility. It is a whisper to allow the soul a night without bartering for worth. Sleep does not require the completion of a long list. It asks only for presence. Listen to the quiet that follows these images. The silence is not empty. It is like the space between notes in a song. The music continues even in that gap. Let the silence be a place to let mercy sink into the bones. Notice any resistance. If the mind protests, simply name the protest and place it on the table with the stone. Do not argue. Let mercy be steady while the mind objects. The steadiness does not depend on persuading everything at once. It rests while belief grows. There is also a small promise that grace returns. It does not run out. Imagine a lamp oil kept in the kitchen. When the level lowers, a careful hand refills it. The flame keeps burning. The supply is not a finite coin. The habit of returning for mercy becomes a steady rhythm. When the night brings questions, the habit is to reach for that lamp again. The reach itself becomes a calming act. It helps to picture a doorway that opens both ways. One way leads to confessing. The other leads to receiving. Both directions are part of the same room. Walk through the doorway slowly now. Say one small thing that needs to be named. Then step to the other side and accept the response as given. Nothing theatrical, just a simple exchange. The rhythm of confessing and receiving becomes a lullaby. As the mind follows these threads, the body responds. The shoulders lower another fraction. The breath deepens a little more. The feet settle into a natural position. Sleep may come or it may not. Both are acceptable inside this assurance. The night does not punish wakefulness. It simply keeps its steady watch and offers rest when it arrives. A final image rests on the bedside, a lamp that is always on. kept low, so that if waking comes at 2 or 3 in the morning, the light is there, the lamp is not bright. It is a comfort. In the same way, forgiveness is a nightly light to return to. It is not a checklist that must be completed before dawn. It is a place to come back to whenever needed. I make one small offer before closing. Take 3 slow breaths. With each breath, imagine a small weight lifting from the chest and setting itself gently on the table. The first breath lifts a stone of regret. The second takes away a strand of worry. The third loosens a tangle of fear. Each exhale is an act of letting go. Each inhale is a receiving of grace. Place the hand over the heart one last time. Feel warmth there. Let the warmth be a simple sign that mercy has moved in. The Bible closes softly. The sound is like a small bell. The lamp stays low. The room keeps its steady watch. Rest now, with the assurance that grace covers what is heavy. Trust that forgiveness is faithful and does not need to be earned tonight. Allow mercy to do its quiet work. Sleep when it comes. Stay awake when it does not. Either way, the presence that forgives remains near. The hour ends with that steady promise. Good night for now. The next reading will return with more gentle words. I draw the Bible closer. The pages feel familiar under my fingertips. The lamp throws a soft circle of light. Night sits gently around the room. My voice makes no haste. Tonight, a verse comes to mind, one that speaks to the busy mind. It tells of laying down worry. It invites prayer and quiet thanksgiving. It promises a kind of peace that watches over heart and thought. I hold that passage quietly and let its calm shape the rest of this hour. The words arrive, not like an order, but like an open hand. Do not let worry live without a name. The passage says in simple terms, bring what presses into prayer. Take each small thing that rattles in the skull and speak it, then include a word of thanks. The action is plain. It asks for honesty and for gratitude. The promise is that a different kind of rest follows. The peace that comes is not busy. It keeps guard in a gentle way. Breathe with a thought. Inhale slowly. Count in a rhythm that feels safe. Exhale and imagine the knot of worry loosening. One soft breath at a time. The busy noise thins. The practice is small. It asks for only a few moments, but those moments can shift the room inside the chest. I invite you to gather 3 small worries in the mind. They do not need to be large. They can be a sentence, a one-line knot that wakes at midnight. Name each one quietly. Say it with no drama. Speak it as if saying the name of a song. Keep the voice steady and low. This is not a list to fix. It is a list to hand over. Next, bow the head in a small gesture. The gesture is private. It is like closing a book halfway through a page. Offer each worry in a short prayer. A simple asking is enough. The prayers need no flourish. They need only truth. If words fail, breathe the asking. Let the breath become the request. If the mind insists on reasons and rewrites, let that insisting sit for a moment and then return to the single request. Repetition is gentle. It is not frantic. Now turn toward thanksgiving. Pick 3 things, small and certain. A warm cup, a kind voice, a window cracked open to cool air. Name 1 thing for each worry already named. The change is modest. It tilts the scale from frantic to aware. Gratitude is not a cure for pain. It is a small lamp. It helps see the next step as the prayers and thanksgivings sit together. Picture peace as a guard that takes its post. This guard is not a tense sentinel. It is patient and calm. It does not patrol with alarm. It stands at a low gate and watches quietly. The heart and the mind live behind that gate. The guard keeps them safe, not by force, but by steady attention. Imagine that guard as a warm presence at the center of the chest. Feel its steadiness in a soft place behind the sternum. The image helps, but keep the breath as the real rhythm. Inhale slowly and imagine the guard breathing in. Exhale and imagine the guard breathing out. Let that slow motion repeat. Peace does not have to be loud to be secure. It can be the steady sway of a lantern on a ship that keeps its beam level while the water moves. If anxiety returns, treat it kindly. Anxiety is often a messenger wearing a rough coat. Listen to the messenger, but do not invite it to sit at the center table. Hear its short warning, then offer the small prayer and the small thanks again. The routine is the medicine. Repetition teaches the hands where to place the burdens. There is a simple exercise I use when thoughts run fast. Take 3 small stones or coins if they are at hand. Hold them in one palm. For each stone, say one quick prayer. Place the stone in a shallow bowl. Watch the sound of it touching the glass. The sounds are small anchors. They turn scattered thoughts into something held. When the hand rests empty, notice how a little room opens in the head. It may be only a crack. Let that crack widen with breath. Sometimes worry centers on things that cannot be changed overnight. That reality is true. The exercise does not pretend otherwise. It simply gives a place to set the weight for a while. Imagine a chair by the bedside. Place the concern on that chair. Promise to revisit it in the morning. At a time planned and practical, tonight, the concern gets a seat, not a bed. Keep the language simple. Short prayers work best. A single sentence can carry a heavy thing. The habit of speaking plainly trains the mind to stop circling. It trades spinning for naming and handing over. It makes room inside for the lantern of peace. The promise that the text holds goes beyond the moment of naming. It says that the peace offered will guard the heart and the mind. Guarding here is not a tense watch that never slows. It is more like a gentle fence that keeps the most tender places from exposure. Picture a small garden fenced from the night wind. Inside, the plants rest. The light is low. The fence does not stop the wind from being wind. It simply keeps the garden in a place of quiet. I read a short line aloud, not loudly, but so that the syllables can settle. The line asks for trust in folding worry into prayer. Do not let the curl of anxious thoughts be mistaken for strength. Offering them up is an act of strength disguised as gentleness. The hand that releases is brave. Return to the breathing. In each pause, count slowly Inhale for a count that does not strain. Hold only a breath or two. Enough to feel the quiet. Exhale and imagine the breath carrying a small bundle out through the window. Watch it float away. The image is gentle, not forced. Another small practice helps with nighttime racing thoughts. Imagine a book with a soft cover. Write on the first blank page the word worry. Then beneath it write one line about what is pressing. Close the book. Slide it onto the shelf. The act of writing is light. Even if the content is heavy, the shelf is not a vault. It is a temporary place. The action says the mind will set it aside for the night and return with clearer eyes. Do not be surprised if sleep still resists. The body and the mind relearn, rest slowly. Expect small improvements rather than swift cures. This steadiness is kind. It keeps anxiety from feeling like a failure. Small progress deserves notice. If the eyes stay open, let the room be a soft companion. Let the Bible remain on the table. The lamp keeps its small circle of light. The presence that watches does not leave, because sleep delays. When fear kindles in the night, name it. The naming is brief a sentence, a word. Then breathe and believe the guard's promise. It is not an instant vanishing of fear. It is a steady putting down of armor. Sometimes a gentle physical motion helps. Fold the hands over the heart. Feel the rise and fall under them. The touch anchors the mind in the body. It slows thoughts enough to return to the breath. Imagine now the hands of someone who loves settling the covers with care. No drama, just the steady motions of tucking the feet and smoothing the sheet. The actions are simple and reassuring. Mercy in the night looks like hands that make a space safe. Allow that metaphor to be small and close. If a memory returns sharp and loud, treat it like a book brought from the shelf to be read for a moment and then closed. Read what is necessary, then close the book. The words will not vanish. The heart can still be rested. Practice closing the book gently each time the memory stirs at night. Keep the tone of thought in the present tense. Worries often live in the future or in the past. The practice here brings them into the present, briefly named and given over. Present tense is like a steady anchor in a rushing current. It helps the mind not to sprint after what might be. Gratitude is a small torch. It does not need to blaze. A single thankful thought about the day will shift the inner weather. Think of a small kindness received. Hold it for a breath. Watch the chest soften. The peace promised also has a tactile sense. It is like a light blanket laid over a tired shoulder. It warms without fuss. It is steady and patient. When the mind resists that calm, invite the resistance to sit beside the blanket. Let the blanket cover both. Peace does not exclude honesty. I close this section with a short guided moment. Breathe in slowly. Hold for a count that is easy. Breathe out and release one named worry into a quiet prayer. Breathe in again and name one small thing to be thankful for. Breathe out and imagine peace spreading from the center of the chest like warm light. Repeat twice more. Each cycle is small. Each matters. As I lower the voice, The lamp keeps the circle of light. The Bible rests with a soft thud. The evening keeps its hush. If sleep comes, let it be without haste. If it does not, allow the room to be a place where the mind learns again how to rest. The presence that keeps guard over heart and thought remains. It does not require constant attention. It will watch while the night moves. Before the end of this part, a blessing settles into the room. It is quiet and purposeful. May the anxious thoughts find words and gentle hands. May the small prayers meet a steady response. May the peace promised keep watch over heart and mind like a calm lamp by the bed. These wishes are not heavy theology. They are simple care. Rest now. Let the breath find its pace. Let the light be a small companion. I will return with another hour of reading. The lamp will be here. The Bible will be open. The voice will be steady. For now, sleep if it will. Stay awake if it must. Either way, behold, the peace that watches remains near. I sit with the Bible on my lap. The lamp is very low. The night is patient. I hold a passage gently in mind. It invites the weary to come. It promises a soft yoke and a light load. I do not read the words aloud, as a lecture. I let them settle like a hand on the shoulder. Listen as I paraphrase the invitation. Come when you are tired. The voice says, come when your heart is heavy. Learn a new way of carrying life. The teacher is gentle. The learning is calm. The task is not to make yourself perfect. It is to rest in a grip that steadies and eases. Imagine those words wrapping around the chest like a warm shawl. Feel the weight move, little by little, from tense shoulders into a place that can hold it. I keep my sentences slow. Each one is a soft step. The room is quiet enough to hear a small footfall. The image of a yoke helps here. Picture 2 oxen, once yoked together. The yoke joins without breaking. It allows the animals to share the load. One carries what it can. The other shares strength. The idea is not complicated. It asks for closeness, not strain. Think of this as an exchange. You place burdens on the outside. The presence takes them in ways you cannot manage alone. Now I bring prayer into this gentle picture. Prayer can be simple. It can be a breath with a name. It can be a slow invitation here, is what presses. Take it. To pray at night is not to solve everything. It is to hand over a single piece at a time. Speak one small thing. Then breathe. Wait. Observe what happens in the body. Often, a shape of relief arrives before a solution. That relief is the first movement of peace. I teach a tactile way to do this. Place one hand over the heart. Lay the other palm outward. Facing up, in the mind, gather the worry you most feel tonight. Let it be small and concrete. Give it a name. See it as a worn bundle. Now imagine setting that bundle in the open palm. Feel the weight. Breathe out and picture the palm bending gently as a pair of hands come underneath. Those hands accept the bundle. The palm empties. The heart softens. Do this slowly. There is no hurry. Add thanksgiving next. Gratitude does not cancel difficulty. It shifts the posture toward what is true and steady. After handing the first worry away, name one small gift the day offered. It may be quiet, like a tone in a song. It may be practical, like a warm cup. Speak it inwardly and feel it rest where the empty palm was. The action is an exchange worry out. Thanks in. The heart keeps the shape of both without being overwhelmed. I offer a short, repeated breath prayer to practice this exchange. Inhale and say a single word of asking. It can be a name that feels safe. Exhale and say a single word of thanks. Keep the words brief. Let the rhythm be soft. A minute of this is enough to make the hands steady. The breath anchors the mind. The practice trains a small muscle of surrender and receiving. Imagine a small ritual you can repeat nightly. Take a cloth square or handkerchief. Fold it 3 times. Each fold holds one worry you name. Lay the cloth on the bedside table. Touch it with your fingertips. Speak quietly, as if speaking to a trusted friend. Place the worries on the cloth and fold them in. At last, tuck the cloth under the pillow or beside the lamp. The physical act makes the abstract act real. Your hands remember both the giving and the receiving. Do not be surprised if the first attempt feels awkward. Let awkwardness be part of the learning. The invitation is to learn gentleness. Learning takes time. The yoke is easy in part because it invites practice. Over the nights, the motions become less foreign. The heart grows accustomed to unloading and letting light enter the spaces left behind. There is also a steady way to use Thanksgiving as a lamp in the dark. Keep a tiny list in the mind. It has 3 simple lines. The first line names a kindness received. The second names a strength that appeared today, no matter how small. The third names a thing that remains hopeful. These lines are not meant to erase grief. They are meant to widen the view. Gratitude makes a frame around the hard pieces so that mercy can move in. When anxiety returns in the night, meet it without harshness. Anxiety often sounds loud. Speak to it like a child who woke from a bad dream. Acknowledge the voice. Say one short prayer. Then name one small thing for which to be thankful. The movement calms the nervous system. It teaches the heart that even amid unrest, there is room for quiet, noticing. I remind you, prayer is not a checklist. Gratitude is not a magic charm. Together they form a gentle practice. The practice trains attention. It changes how the night is met. The pair, asking and thanking, create a loop that makes trust possible. The more the loop is used, the less the mind needs to carry everything alone. Use a simple bedtime posture. Sit comfortably. Keep the hands where they can be felt. Begin with a slow breath in. Let the chest soften on the out-breath. Ask for one thing. Give thanks for one thing. Repeat 3 times. Make each repetition shorter. The movements are deliberate and quiet. Let the silence between each be a landing place. I also suggest a brief visualization. Picture a simple bridge across a small stream. On one side you stand with a pack of stones. Each stone is a worry. Walk to the bridge. Set the stones down slowly. Do not throw them. Lay them carefully. Step onto the bridge and look back. See hands reach from the other side. They accept the stones without question. They do not scold. They do not tally. They take them and set them in a safe place. Cross the bridge empty-handed. Turn toward the next step, which may be sleep. The image of the bridge is practical. It shows movement. It allows space to cross and leave things behind. Keep this picture for later awakenings. When the night brings stirrings, recall the bridge. Walk it in the mind. Use the hands to set down one stone. This small ritual helps the mind stop the spinning loops of worry. Sometimes a worry is not a stone, but a long rope tied to the ankle. It tugs with habit. The same ritual works. Name the rope. Call to mind the hand that will untie it. Feel the knot loosen as the hands of the presence methodically unwind each loop. The motion is slow. It is patient. In time, the rope falls away. Prayer also invites learning gentleness through language. Swap long explanations for short invitations. Replace the sentence that rehearses every fear with a single breathed word. Keep the voice kind, not critical. If the mind reads old lists, let the voice inside respond with a phrase of surrender. That phrase can be as simple as an offering, "This is yours to hold now." Repeating a short phrase trains the mind to stop ruminating. The posture of gratitude guards against a skeptical mind that tests mercy. Gratitude does not try to prove forgiveness. It rests in simple noticing. It is a way of saying yes to a good thing, even when other things feel wrong. The practice of thanks is an act of trust. It tells the mind that not all channels are broken. It opens a small door for peace. I often close nights with a brief, storyless prayer. The prayer names weariness and asks for rest. It offers a word of thanks. It ends with a quiet willingness to learn to carry less. The form is unfussy. It is as much listening as speaking. Allow your night prayer to be the same few words. Honest heart. Open hands. If sleep resists, use the body to help. Stretch the hands and let them rest. Soften the jaw. Imagine the shoulders breathing down. A body that is less tense invites a mind that can let go. Combine the gentle body relaxation with a short prayer and a line of thanks. The three together: body, prayer, gratitude. Work in a small choreography that eases night anxieties. Do not judge nights that stay long. Some nights the mind practices lightly and sleeps comes. Other nights it practices stubbornly and remains awake. Both nights are part of learning. The presence that invites the yoke does not check the number of hours slept. The concern is not the measure of success. The measure is the repeated return to the simple acts. Hand it over. Give thanks. Rest into a softer peace. Tonight, before we close this section, try a small exercise with me. Breathe slowly. Place fingertips together gently. Picture one worry in the mind. Say a quiet request, and imagine giving the worry into the joined fingertips. Open the hands slightly and watch the worry pass over an imagined edge into a kind, steady palm. Breathe, and then find one small thing to thank for. Let that thanks fill the space where the worry sat. Hold the image for a few moments. Let the body notice the ease. I keep my voice low as I say this. The room holds the hush. The Bible rests closed. for a small pause. The practice is not a magic switch. It is a path to learning how to live with gentleness. Over nights, it becomes less foreign. The hands, remember how to let go. End the time with a short, intentional blessing. May the weariness find a safe place. May the mind learn the small trade, worry for presence. May gratitude act as a lantern that keeps watch. Rest is not earned tonight. It is invited. Receive the invitation without obligation. I lower the lamp only a little more. The circle of light remains gentle. Keep the presence of the words close. If waking comes, cross the bridge again. Hand the stones over. Give thanks for one small kindness. The steady teacher offers a light yoke. The journey with that yoke is patient. Sleep if it will. Stay awake if it must. Either way, the hands that hold the night are sure. The next part will come when it is time. For now, breathe. Hand over one thing and give thanks for one small good. Let this simple exchange carry the heart toward rest. The lamp is very low. The Bible rests near the hand. Night presses soft around the window. I hold a simple verse in my mind, one that asks us to give our worries away because someone cares. I do not speak it loud. I let the idea settle like a warm shawl at the shoulders. Worry often comes dressed small. It slips into pockets. It keeps the hands busy at odd hours. Sometimes it arrives like a thin, persistent noise behind the eyes. Other times it presses at the ribs. Tonight, I suggest a gentle practice for that small, busy noise. The practice borrows the motion hinted at in the verse. It asks for a kind of offering. It asks for trust that the offering will be received. Begin by finding a calm posture. Sit or lie so the spine feels supported. Soften the jaw. Let the tongue rest gently behind the front teeth. Let the shoulders slide down from the ears. Close the eyes if that is easy. If not, let the gaze fall on the soft circle of lamplight. Imagine the simplest mailbox. It sits at the edge of a little path outside a house, you know by habit. The mailbox looks ordinary. It has a small flag that can be raised or lowered. In the mind, give it a name that feels true care. Harbor, or simply his hands. This is not a magical object. It is a tool for the heart to practice giving. Gather 3 quiet worries in the mind. They need not be large. Choose things that keep the thoughts active at night. Say the name of each one, very softly, in the mind. If naming feels hard, give each worry a small image, an unmade dish, a dim prospect, a thin, restless worry like a moth near a lamp. Let each worry be small and concrete. Now take a slip of paper in the imagination. On it, write the name or the image. Fold the slip gently. Walk down the mental path to the mailbox. With slow, deliberate motions, place the first folded slip into the box. Close the lid. Feel a small shift as the hand withdraws. Raise the little flag. The action is short. The symbolism is quiet. The worry now sits in the mailbox, not in the chest. Repeat for the second and third slips. Do not hurry. Keep the breath even. Each placing is a small handing over. Notice how the fingers soften as the slips are left behind. If the mind returns to the worry while walking back, do not scold it. Notice the return and walk again to the box. There is no rush. The mailbox accepts what is given. No receipts required. When the last slip is inside, sit for a slow breath. Imagine the mailbox, steady in the dark. Imagine hands kind. Steady hands opening it and taking the slips gently. These hands are not a distant concept. They feel close, like a familiar presence that knows your name. The slips are taken, read with care, and set aside in a place of keeping. No shame, no alarm, just a response that cares. This tiny ritual is a rehearsal. It trains the hands and the heart to move in the direction the verse invites. The motion of giving is small, practical, repeatable. The verse does not demand perfect faith to begin. It asks only that the anxious things be named and offered. The willingness to hand them over becomes the work of the night. If a physical action feels more helpful, make a soft pile of small items beside the bed. 3 clean coins, 3 shells, or 3 smooth buttons will do. For each worry named, place 1 object into a small bowl. Leave the bowl on the windowsill. The object is a simple token that your hands used a gentle motion to set down. The motion itself, over time, creates trust muscles in the body. Breath ties the practice together. Breathe in. On the in-breath, say the name of the worry very softly. Breathe out and imagine placing the worry into the mailbox or bowl. Let the exhale be a gentle surrender. Repeat 2 more times. Keep the breaths honest. No need for perfect rhythm. The important part is the intention to let go in a small, tangible way. Worries sometimes come, not as objects but as tightness in the body. If the chest or neck feels knotted, let the offering be that knot. Breathe down into the tight place. Picture a small, warm hand pressing there with steady care. On the out-breath, imagine the knot loosening and moving like a small pebble into a river. The river here is not a flood. It is a measured current that carries what you place into it. It brings relief by taking the weight away. Another gentle image works well for nights when worry feels like a crowded room inside the head. Imagine opening a window in that room. The air moves in. A single curtain sways. For each worry named aloud in the mind, imagine rolling 1 small curtain open and letting a sliver of cool night air pass through. The movement is small, yet the room breathes differently. Freshness comes in with each open fold. If scrupulous thinking demands that every worry must be solved before sleep, name that demand as a worry too. Place it in the mailbox. Let the act of handing it over be an act of mercy toward yourself. The verse cares for the anxious heart. It does not require you to finish every task before rest. The posture asked for tonight is releasing, not fixing. Sometimes the mind keeps replaying a scene to feel prepared. For those nights, offer a new, brief practice. Picture a small bird cage. In the cage sit tiny paper cranes folded from the names of the worries. One by one, lift the cage door and let the cranes fly out. Watch them rise into the night air and disappear into the dark, each movement quiet and steady. The cages are small acts of making space. The cranes are the offerings that leave you lighter. When a worry returns, receive it as a messenger rather than an enemy. Thank it for its warning. Then place it into the mailbox again. Repeat the ritual as often as needed. The practice does not demand that worry never arrives. It trains the hands and heart to practice returning what is not meant to be carried all night. Gentle body work can support the handing over. Roll the shoulders slowly. 3 times forward and 3 times back. Clench the jaw for a breath, and then let it soften. Wiggle the fingers, and then let the hands lie open on the blanket. These small movements are signals to the nervous system that it is safe to let go. Pair one of these motions with a mailbox practice, so the body remembers the letting go. Keep the language of the inward prayer simple. A single whispered line in the mind is enough. Something like, "Here is this, take it," or simply, "Holding this now." The words do not need to be perfect. The point is to name, offer, and trust the response. The verse promises a listener who cares. Let that listening be enough for the night. If gratitude feels distant, let that also be small and immediate. After placing worries into the mailbox, name one small kindness from the day: the texture of a cup, a short, friendly exchange, a window with moonlight. Say the thing softly and let it rest beside the bowl or the closed mailbox. The pairing of offering and gratitude helps the heart hold both reality and hope. It does not ignore sorrow. It widens the view. Sometimes worry germinates because of an unmet need. If a need is present, make a small plan for the morning. Write one sentence on a mental note card. Tomorrow I will call, or tomorrow I will rest, or tomorrow I will arrange. That single line releases the rehearsal the mind uses to feel prepared. Set the note card into the mailbox as well. Then close the lid. A plan need not be long to be helpful. As the practice goes on, notice small signs of change. The breath deepens. The hands relax. The eyes may feel heavy. These are gentle proofs that something in the body accepts the offering. No need to demand immediate sleeping. Let the body rest in the acceptance. If the night keeps wakefulness, keep the ritual soft and kind. The mailbox is always there for the next offering. I end this part with one final, quiet exercise. Place a light hand over the heart. Breathe in slowly. As the chest rises, name one worry. Breathe out and imagine placing that worry into the mailbox. Breathe in again and name one small, certain thing to be thankful for. Breathe out and let the gratitude warm the place where the worry once sat. Repeat twice more. Keep the voice inside low. Keep the motions deliberate. When the small ritual finishes, sit in the silence for a moment. Let the room receive the quiet. Let the lamp keep its dim circle. The Bible rests nearby. The mailbox image stays low and accessible. Worries do not vanish from the world. but tonight they have been handed over into care that will not abandon them. Before I close the book, I offer a short blessing, with no heavy words. May the worries you carry find hands to hold them. May the heart know that giving is not losing but receiving mercy. May sleep come when it will, and may rest be deeper for the small acts of handing over. The lamp lowers its light. The room keeps its hush. I will come again with another gentle hour. Sleep, if it comes. Stay awake, if it must. Either way, be kind to the mind that tries. The practice is patient. The mailbox waits. The hands that care are steady. Good night for now. I keep the lamp low. The Bible rests near the hand as always. Tonight, I tell a story. It is a small, warm story from my life. It belongs to a family member I will not name. The tale is simple. It is meant to sit beside the night like a soft cushion. This relative is neither saint nor stranger. The life is ordinary. The work is simple. The hands know the shape of routine. Nights sometimes come crowded for them. Worry visits in the small hours. Old regrets arrive like late guests. The chest tightens. Sleep feels distant. Years ago, the nights were harsher. The mind would replay the day like a recording that would not stop. Decisions were questioned. Little mistakes multiplied in thought. The body responded to the mind with a low, steady tension across the shoulders. The days blurred into a grey wash because the nights offered no rest. One winter evening changed a pattern. A small illness made walking slow. The family gathered in a room that smelled faintly of tea and wool. Someone brought a kettle. Another brought a favourite blanket with a threadbare corner. The relative sat in a chair with that blanket draped over the knees. The room moved in soft rhythms, footsteps muffled by rugs. The click of a clock. The quiet rasp of pages turned. I read a passage from the Bible aloud. The voice is soft. The text is not a remedy. It is an invitation to rest. The relative does not speak. Eyes close after a while. A breath becomes longer. The body eases into the chair. The room keeps its hush. After that evening, a few things begin to change. Nothing dramatic. No soothing cures. Small rituals take root. The relative finds comfort in acts that require little strength. The first is a way of naming. Each night before bed, a note is folded and placed on a windowsill. It is not an essay. It is one line, clear and simple. A single worry, a small fear, sometimes a request for help, sometimes a thanks for a kind word that day. The act of writing makes the thought concrete. Folding the paper makes it manageable. Setting it on the sill is a letting go. There is a physicality to this habit that helps. The fingers that press the paper are the same ones that once fumbled with keys or mended socks. The motion ties mind to body. The hand remembers how to finish a task. Repetition turns the small act into a calm muscle. It becomes something the night can rely on. A second practice follows. When the night presses, a lamp is left on at a low setting across the room. The light is not bright enough to stir the mind, but it is steady enough to be a companion. It is a visible sign that the house watches over the sleeper. The lamp becomes a quiet promise. if waking comes in the small hours. The lamp is a friend that does not demand answers. It simply stays. A third habit grows from a very ordinary place, the kitchen. In the late evening, the kettle is set to warm. The steam lifts into the air like a small cloud. A cup of herbal tea waits beside the chair. The warm liquid is not medicine. It is a ritual of care. The hands that lift the cup remember the comfort of being held. The warmth travels slowly from the hand to the chest. The breath finds an easier pace. A practice that simple has power in its gentleness. The family member does other quiet things. A small crochet piece moves through the fingers. The needle slips in and out like a breath. The pattern is slow. The making becomes a prayer without words. The stitches collect like a list of mercies. Each loop shows up as proof that the night can still hold beauty, even when the heart feels heavy. Sometimes the relative carries a small cardboard box to the bedside. Inside are photographs. Not many. The images are chosen with care. They are quiet scenes. An old dog sleeping. A summer porch. A child's hand in an older hand. The box serves as a gentle anchor. When the mind grows restless with worry about what might come next, the photographs are a return to what has been true. One night, after the illness has passed, the relative sits with the box. A photograph of a garden stays in the palm for a long time. The image is simple rows of green. A small patch of sun. The breath slows. A tear slips without drama. That tender moment does not erase sorrow. It opens room for comfort. The presence of a loving memory becomes a soft lamp. By itself, community matters too. A neighbor drops by with a small loaf of bread. Another brings a radio with gentle music. Words of encouragement come in letters that arrive without ceremony. These acts are not large. They are steady. Consistency proves important. Over weeks, the relative learns to receive without apology. Receiving is hard at first. It feels like taking space one does not deserve. But the hands that hold the cup of tea also hold the neighbor's loaf. Acceptance becomes a practice. One evening, the relative takes my hand. The touch is light. It says little. My mind remembers the softness of the moment. The action is not a solution. It is a presence. Sometimes, being held is all the night needs. The hand in mine is proof that someone watches. That proof settles like a warm cloth on a sore place. Faith grows in small measures. It does not arrive as a sudden conversion. It appears in habits that teach trust, a phrase repeated like a lullaby, a verse memorized and hummed, a gentle turning toward prayer that is not long-winded. When sleep resists, the relative whispers a short sentence in the mind, a phrase like a seam. The words do not argue with doubt. They sit beside it, steady and patient. Or team. The phrase becomes a bridge that the mind crosses more easily. Assurance does not begin as certainty. It begins as a slow collection of small proofs. A neighbor who knocks, a hand that squeezes, a lamp that stays on, a photograph held until tears pass. These things teach the heart to trust care when it appears. One afternoon, a letter arrives from a distant family member. The envelope is plain. Inside is a short note. Nothing ornate. It speaks of a shared memory, The tone is kind. The relative reads it twice. The first read is gentle. The second is slower. A sense of being known moves through the chest. The letter does not fix the past. It offers a companion in the present. Sometimes assurance arrives in writing that says, in effect, you are not alone with this. There are nights when old fears return as if they never left. The brain rehearses old failures. The body tenses. In those seasons, the relative uses a small practice of placing a hand over the heart and breathing slowly. The fingers trace a circle. The breath counts. 1, 2, 3 in, 1, 2 out. The motion is both practical and symbolic. It says small breath, small truth. Repeat. The heart notices the rhythm. The worry eases. Not entirely, but enough to allow sleep to edge closer. Priez, remember. The prayers are short. The language is not grand. It is a quiet offering. The relative prays like a person handing a small package to a friend. Trust grows not from argument, but from habit. The habit of naming and handing over. Night after night becomes the scaffolding of a new interior architecture. The house of the heart rearranges slowly to include an open window. One autumn evening, after a week of gentle practices, the relative sleeps for a long time. The rest is deep. A long breath leaves the body without interruption. It feels like a small miracle. The family watches quietly. Joy is not loud. It is the kind that folds itself into ordinary life and sits there. Patient. Not every night is like that. Some nights work in progress continues, but the pattern shifts. Nights become places where small rituals happen. The rituals are not magic. They are faithful acts of care. They teach the nervous system that safety is possible. The lamp stays low. The kettle warms. The photographs anchor the wandering mind. What matters most in this story is not a particular doctrine. It is the steady presence that meets the worn and makes room. A life receives simple acts of mercy. Those acts gather into a tide that lifts the heart up from the depth. The relative's faith is not a shield that removes pain. It is a hand that steadies while pain remains. The assurance that grows is practical. It is the knowledge that someone cares enough to listen, to hold, to offer a light in the dark. In the months that follow, the family member learns to offer the same small mercies in return. A loaf of bread is baked for a neighbor. A radio is tuned to a quiet station and left on for someone who wakes at night. A hand is extended without a long speech. The circle of kindness widens not because of big gestures, but because small ones are repeated. I tell this story now because it fits the night. It is full of little images that sit well in a sleepy mind. The pictures can be carried back into the dark when worry returns. Think of the windowsill with folded notes. Think of the lamp that stays on. Picture a kettle that hisses softly and a hand that takes your own. These are not tricks. They are simple bridges to trust. If the mind protests with reasons why caution is wise, lead it. The protest is not the enemy. Name it gently and place it alongside the other worries on the windowsill. Let the practice hold that concern too. Small acts receive all things without grand claims. Before sleep takes you, try a small exercise from the story. Close your eyes if that is easy. Imagine a small paper folded and placed on a sill. Write one short thing on it inside your mind, a worry, a regret, a simple request. Fold the paper slowly. Walk in your imagination to the window and set it down. Watch the paper stir in a small wind. Picture a familiar hand opening the window and taking the note gently. The act is quiet. It is a rehearsal of trust. Breathe now. Feel a hand over the heart. Light and warm. Let the breath find a steady tempo. Think of one small kindness from your day. Name it quietly. Let that kindness rest beside the folded paper in the image. Allow the body to respond. A shoulder relaxes a fraction. The jaw softens. The chest opens a little more. The story closes like a door left ajar. The family member sleeps again that night. Not because life is suddenly perfect, because small acts of care have taught the heart how to receive. Assurance grows in practice more than in proof. The hand that steadies does not leave when the world is noisy. It remains patient and close. I set the Bible down with a gentle sound. The lamp keeps its steady pool of light. The room listens. If sleep comes now, let it be easy. If it does not, hold the images from the story like soft stones in the hand. Place one beside the pillow. Let the night keep watch. A final blessing rests here, without ceremony. May the small acts of mercy find their way into tonight. May the lamp of care be near. May the hands that receive be steady. Rest into slowness. Trust that the heart can learn to let go. Good night for now. The next part will come when it is time. The room keeps its hush. The Bible rests. The lamp watches. Sleep or wake. Be held. The lamp is very low. The Bible lies open. A page moves with a soft breath of air. Tonight, I hold a simple verse in mind. It urges rejoicing, steady prayer, and thanksgiving. The words are short. Their rhythm is quiet. They fit the hour. I speak slowly. My voice is soft. The aim is not argument. The aim is practice. Gratitude is a habit. It is a gentle muscle. It grows with small, steady use. Begin with a breath. Inhale slowly. Hold for a short count. Exhale and say thanks in the heart. The word need not be large. The sound can be a single, inward syllable. Let it sit like a pebble on the tongue. Repeat 3 times. The breathing makes the thanks move from thought into the body. Gratitude is not denial. It does not pretend harm is not real. Instead, it lives beside hard things. It places small lights along a dark path. The lights do not banish the night. They make the next step visible. Consider a bedside table. Imagine a shallow dish there. Each evening, drop into it one small thing to be grateful for. It might be a warm cup. It might be the feel of a soft sweater. It might be the memory of a kind word. The items are not large. They are simple and true. Over time, the dish fills. The filling is steady evidence. It becomes a comfort to touch in darker moments. Another practice is a short list of 3. Keep the list purely descriptive. No need to explain. Write down 3 small facts that were good today. A phrase is enough. A single word works. If sleep resists, read the 3 lines aloud in a low voice. Let the rhythm of the words slow the mind. The list is a small anchor. Use the senses to find thanks. Name 1 thing seen. Name 1 thing heard. Name 1 thing touched. The method is practical. It brings the attention into the present. The present is where mercy often enters. If the evening feels heavy, try a gratitude. Walk in the mind. Picture a narrow path through a garden. Walk slowly. Count 3 little plants. For each plant, name 1 small kindness. It represents the plants do not need to be rare. A common herb will do. The habit trains the eyes to find good things, even when they feel scarce. Gratitude can be physical. Keep a small stone on the nightstand. Each grateful thought rests under the thumb for a moment. The stone cools the skin and steadies the hand. The action is silent and practical. It speaks of keeping thanks small and reachable. A short ritual can help when memory presses. Fold a single slip of paper. On it, write a line of thanks. Leave it beneath the pillow or beside the lamp. The act of folding is a gentle sealing. When the night grows loud, reach for the paper and read the lines slowly. The handwriting is proof that this good thing happened. The proof calms an anxious heart. Gratitude works well as repetition. A single phrase, repeated quietly, becomes a lullaby. Choose a short phrase of thanks. Say it with the breath. Let the phrase match the slow pace of the exhale. Practice the repetition like a slow drum beat. The rhythm steadies the mind. Keep the language small. Avoid long theological sentences tonight. Use words a child would know. Use words a tired adult can carry. This ease helps the practice live beyond the hour. A simple phrase like "thank you for light" or "thank you for rest" can be enough. Gratitude also shapes the way prayer feels. The ancient invitation to pray without ceasing is not pressure to never stop talking. It is an invitation to keep a soft line open between the heart and what sustains it. A short prayer practice is useful. Name 1 concern. Place it briefly in the hands of prayer. Then add 1 small thanks. The pattern of asking and thanking becomes a gentle loop. The loop holds the heart in a new posture. When sorrow shows its face, do not force a false joy. Let sorrow be present. Say a simple line of thanks that does not deny the pain. Thank for a steady hand. Thank for a warm blanket. Thank for a neighbor who stopped by. The gratitude does not erase suffering. It widens the view, so suffering is not the only thing that can be seen. One way to practice is to make a nightly gratitude map. Take a page and draw a simple circle. Divide it into 3 parts. Label 1 part for a small kindness, another for a small success, the third for something that held hope. Fill the segments slowly. Do this without hurry. The map becomes a habit. It can be redrawn the next night. The act of mapping teaches the mind to look for small lights across the whole day. Gratitude can also be communal. If another sleeps in the room, share 1 brief line. A word whispered across the pillow is not a performance. It is a bond. If the night holds solitude, Imagine a friendly face at a distance. Send the line of thanks in the thought. The communal sense is a reminder that lives are not islands. Small kindnesses thread between people. Keep away from comparisons. Gratitude is personal. It is not measured by others' lists. Avoid the temptation to compare riches of thanks. A single small thing is as valid as a large event. The practice asks for honesty, not competition. Use objects as memory aids. A ribbon tied around a wrist can signal a promise to notice the good. A string on a drawer knob can be a prompt to say thanks before sleep. The object is only a help. The heart must do the noticing. The items simply call the attention back when it wanders. When the mind spins into worry, bring it back to the body. Feel the weight of the hand on the chest. Notice the rise and fall. Name one small thing that feels real, the warmth of breath under the hand, a steady pulse, the cool touch of a blanket. Thank for that small fact. The body often anchors a mind that wants to drift. There is power in naming the mundane. Thank for a roof. Thank for a chair. Thank for a spoon. The smallness is the point. The list of small things builds a lattice strong enough to hold larger cares. Think of a tapestry made of many modest threads. Together they form a secure covering. A forgiving heart and a thankful heart often walk together. Where small kindness is noticed, hard feelings soften. If there is a person ache, try this name. One small thing that person once did that helped. Keep the memory brief. Let it warm rather than argue. The act is not pretending. It is remembering that grace existed before and may again. If the night is restless with what-if questions, make a short pact with the morning. Write one small action to be taken tomorrow. Tuck the note beside the bed. The plan is not a cure. It is a way to release rehearsal into a time meant for working. Giving the mind a small promise for the day can be enough to quiet the night. Que posture simple. A short bow of the head. A folded hand for a moment. A slow stretch. The body remembers ritual. Ritual teaches the nervous system to slow. Pair a small gesture with a line of thanks. The joining of body and word makes the practice easier to repeat. Add praise to thankfulness. Praise is not long sermons. It is short acknowledgement of goodness. It might be a whispered gratitude for the quiet of the house. It might be a soft thanks for the moon's light. Praise lifts the gaze slightly. It moves the heart outward, just enough to make room. Do not demand feelings. If gratitude feels thin, still do the practice. The habit grows trust before emotion. Often the body learns to feel grateful before the heart catches up. Gentle repetition matters more than force. Keep the tone of the practice like watering a small plant. Do not dig up the roots to check for progress. Water and wait. When remembering losses, practice a tender thanks for what remains. Name one small memory and thank it. The practice is not trying to fix the whole. It is a way to hold the memory with less sharpness. Over time the edge is dull. The absence still lives. The gratitude helps the rest of life continue. Sometimes a grateful heart is quiet company. Keep a small book near the lamp for a single line of thanks. Fill a page slowly over weeks. The collection reads like a slow journal of mercy. When nights grow hard, open the book and read a single line. Let the remembered good be a warm hand. If prayer feels distant, use a simple phrase as a scaffold. Say the phrase with the exhale. Let it be a soft habit. The phrase can be as brief as a single word of thanks. Repeat it with the breath. Let the lungs become the metronome of gratitude. As the quiet deepens, offer a short blessing. Speak it gently into the room. The blessing is not a grand proclamation. It is a small wish, like a shawl placed over shoulders. May thankfulness find small things. May mercy be near. May rest come slowly and with kindness. Close the Bible slowly. The sound of the cover is a small bell. The lamp keeps its low circle. Take 3 slow breaths. With each exhale, say silently 1 short thank you. Let the third breathe out into a long, easy sigh. Allow the body to respond. Let the chest soften. Let the jaw relax. Tomorrow will bring its work. Tonight allows a gentle collection of good. Keep the practices small and repeatable. A dish, a stone, a folded note, a slow breath. Each is a tool that trains the heart. I will come back and read more. The voice will be steady. The lamp will wait. For now, let the room keep its hush. Place a hand over the heart. Feel its beating. Name 1 small thing for which to be grateful. Let the name sit there like a warm stone. Rest now. Be gentle with the night. The thankful practice will wake with the morning. The heart learns in small steps. The mercy that watches tonight remains. Good night for now. Sure, the gift of spiritual renewal. I hold a quiet verse in my mind. It tells of an inside work that keeps happening. Day by day. The body may tire. The spirit can be made new. I read this not as a promise of instant change. I read it as a slow kindness that refuses to stop. Tonight I speak of renewal. The word is soft. It is the steady pulse beneath many small acts. Renewal moves like a dawn that returns after long nights. It does not rush. It comes as a patient remaking from inside out. Picture a potter's wheel. Clay turns slowly beneath careful hands. The wheel does not hurry. The potter molds with small motions. A lump becomes shape because of repeated, gentle pressure. So the inward life reforms through small attentions. Repeated over time. The hands are not frantic. They are steady. I do not offer a list of requirements. I offer scenes to rest with. Each image is a simple tool. Each tool trains the heart to receive the quiet work of being remade. Begin with breath. Breathe in. Calm and steady. Breathe out. Long and even. Make the breath a simple metronome. Let each inhale acknowledge weariness. Let each exhale be a soft offering. The breath keeps time with the renewal. It does not demand perfection. It only asks for presence. Imagine an inner garden. The soil is old and dark. Seeds sleep there. Some roots are tangled. Renewal in this space looks like patient tending. Hands clear a small patch. A little compost is added. Water comes in careful amounts. Nothing dramatic happens all at once. Tiny shoots appear. then more. Over weeks, the patch brightens. Renewal is a gardener's work. A small nightly practice helps the gardeners among us. Before sleep, name one small place inside that feels tired. It may be a regret, a worry, a dullness. Picture that place as soil in the palm. With the next breath, imagine planting a tiny seed there. Name the seed with a single word: hope, mercy, rest. Cover it gently with the earth of a slow exhale. Do this once. Do it again tomorrow. The repetition matters more than eloquence. Music can be a companion. Choose a short hymn or a quiet melody, and let it become a soft backdrop to the mind's evening. The tune does not have to carry doctrine. It simply keeps a tone that renewal can attach to. When familiar notes return over days, they stitch a rhythm into the interior life. The rhythm steadies the hands that shape the clay. Renewal also comes through small acts of repair. Imagine a seamstress at a lamp, mending a cuff. The needle moves with careful patience. Each stitch brings fabric back to usefulness. The act is practical. It is ordinary. The heart can be mended in similar ways. A small apology, a brief confession, a far-sighted choice to rest. Each one is a stitch that repairs a worn place. I suggest a quiet ritual for this kind of repair. Keep a small square of cloth on the bedside. Each night, touch it and name one wound you do not want to carry alone. Fold the cloth slowly. Lay it on the nightstand. In the morning, look at the cloth and notice if the weight feels less. The cloth is not magic. It is a physical companion for a symbolic action. The body remembers folding. The mind learns to hand burdens to care. There is also renewal in memory. Old hurts often get replayed by a mind that believes replay will offer safety. Instead, imagine a light that gently erases the edges of a harsh picture. The details remain, but the glare softens. That softening is not forgetfulness. It is mercy's reframing. Think of a photograph left in sun until its colors ease. The image survives. The brightness fades enough to allow tenderness. Attend to small acts that cultivate new patterns. Choose one short passage to read each night. Read it slowly. Let a single verse become a steady stone in the river of the mind. Over days, the stone anchors other thoughts. The verse need not be long or complex. The purpose is habit. Habit lets renewal sink in without pressure. Sleep itself is part of renewal. It is not just a rest for the limbs. It is a quiet workshop for the soul. The slow hours knit impressions and soften sharp edges. Treat sleep like a small sacrament. Protect it with kindness. Lower lights. Set a single lamp to a gentle glow. Let the body know the world is not demanding anything for a while. Renewal often appears in the company of gentleness. A friendly hand. A soft voice. A neighbor's loaf. These are not grand rescues. They are small mercies that prove care is near. When the body believes someone stays, the spirit relaxes. Relaxation becomes space for remaking. Practice a short listening in the dark. Lieg still. Turn attention inward. Name 3 small things that felt like kindness today. They need not be great. A hot cup. An email that arrived when needed. A window with a slice of blue. Let those three rest like pebbles in the palm of thought. The pebbles hold light. Overnights. They become a small storehouse of remembered good. Renewal is not denial of loss. It is a companion to loss. It does not promise that pain vanishes. It promises that pain will be met with a steady, renewing presence. For nights heavy with grief, let a gentle image come close. Imagine a warm basin of water. Place one aching memory into it. Watch the water ripple and slowly clear. The ache does not disappear. It becomes part of a process that invites healing. Another simple practice is as quiet as a breath. Each evening, imagine a tiny lantern within the chest. It dims at times. Tonight, cup it with both hands. Breathe toward it. Inhale for a soft count. Exhale and imagine the lantern glowing a fraction brighter. The light is not meant to blaze. It is meant to be enough for the next step. Over days, the lantern grows steadier. Forgiveness and renewal often meet. Releasing someone or oneself creates room for new growth. A short practice supports this meeting. Picture a small knot of thread. The knot tightens with blame and shame. With a careful motion, pull a single thread loose. Do not attempt to undo the entire knot. Free one loop. Let the finger move around that freed loop until it becomes easier. Repeat over nights. The knot relaxes bit by bit. The heart learns gentleness toward itself. Notice how small rituals change the body. Shoulders drop a fraction. The breath lengthens. The jaw unclenches. These changes are proof of the inner work. They are gentle markers of a slow newness. Pay attention to them. They tell true things. Community remains vital. Renewal is rarely only an inward task. It often happens between persons. A quiet letter, a short visit, a call that says nothing clever but offers steadiness. These are forms of repair. They become scaffolding for interior change. When the world shows up in small, consistent ways, the soul learns to expect care. Keep the language of faith simple at night. Long arguments have their time. Bedtime is not that time. A whispered phrase, a short prayer, a soft thank you. These are enough. Speak them like a child speaks to a parent. The tone is trust, not proof. The aim is to open a hand, not to win a debate. Renewal also asks for patience with the body. Aging, illness, and weariness are real. They are not enemies to be lied to. They are conditions within which renewal still occurs. Imagine a slow river cutting a gorge over centuries. The river does its work without hurry. The landscape changes in a rhythm longer than a human day. Faith learns to love that slower scale. Practical habits support this pace. Eat slowly. Walk with attention in the daylight. Let the lungs meet fresh air in short moments. These small practices are like daily stitches. Over months, they show in steadier posture and calmer mind. Do not demand quick results. Celebrate the tiny shifts. Art and beauty help the remaking. A short reading of a poem, a sketch with a soft pencil, the viewing of a map or a sky, can realign the heart. Beauty reminds that creation engages the heart's senses. It calls the inner life to newness in a way words often cannot. Hold a small ceremony for renewal. Nothing elaborate. Light one candle in the evening. Speak one sentence to yourself. It can be as simple as let this night be a place for repair. Blow out the candle and carry the quiet inside. The ritual creates a memory anchor. When the mind returns to rest, the ceremony can be repeated without fuss. Gratitude remains a partner to renewal, not a denial of hardship, but a widening of view. Name one small gift before sleep. Let it be tangible. Say it softly, and let the body feel a small easing. The next night, name a different thing. Over weeks, the list fills like a jar kept on a shelf. The jar is proof of steady mercy. When despair presses, use a single, brief practice, sitoprit. Place fingers on the sternum. Feel the beat there. Name one small fact that has been true this week. Hold it and breathe. The fact anchors the heart in reality rather than in rumor or fear. Often that small fact is enough to begin another breath. Renewal keeps company with hope. Hope is not a spark that must be manufactured. It is a small ember, tended by habit, each small act of kindness, each honest prayer, each simple practice adds a twig. The ember warms. It does not explode. It becomes steady. I close this hour with a short, slow invitation. Lie back. Let the shoulders soften. Place a hand over the place in the chest that feels most full. Breathe in for a slow count. Breathe out and imagine a gentle hand smoothing that place. Say one short word of trust inwardly. Repeat 3 times. Keep the voice in the mind low. Let the rhythm be the work. A final image lingers. Picture an old book on a shelf. The cover is worn. The pages are fragile. Each night, a single page is turned. The book is not consumed in a sitting. It is read slowly across a lifetime. Renewal reads the heart the same way. Small pages turned over many nights make a whole book that is softer and truer. The Bible closes with a soft sound. The lamp remains low. The room keeps its hush. The work of renewal continues, not because of a sudden fixing, but because of steady, patient care. Sleep, when it comes, will carry some of that work. If wakefulness remains, rest in the slow truth. Inward making is ongoing and faithful. Before the light goes out, a brief blessing rests on the air. May the weary find a small place to be renewed. May the heart meet morning with a little more spring. May the steady work of mercy keep turning the wheel and tending the garden. The blessing is simple and sure. I will return with more reading. For now, let the night hold the slow work. Let the breath keep time. Let the small practices be gentle companions. Rest into the promise that inward renewal does not quit. Good night for now. I set the Bible on my lap and ease the lamp a fraction lower. The room takes its usual hush. A single verse lingers in my mind. Be still and know. I paraphrase it quietly, rather than quote it. The phrase is simple. It asks for a pause. I speak in a low tone. The reading tonight is an invitation to inner stillness, not a demand, not a test, just a gentle call to rest in presence. I will read. I will listen. I will keep the pace slow. First, make a small adjustment in posture. Let the spine find support. Relax the jaw. Let the hands rest where they are most comfortable. If the eyes close, that is fine. If they stay open, soften the gaze. Each tiny change matters. Breathe once. Slow and full. Notice the breath without changing it at first. Feel the air move in. Feel it move out. Name the breath only in the mind. Inhale. Receive. Exhale. Release. Let the breath be an anchor. Imagine a quiet room inside. No furniture except a simple chair. The chair is kind and wide enough for the whole heart. The walls are plain. There is a single window. Through it, the sky is calm. This inner room is a refuge. It does not fix everything. It simply holds. I guide the silence. Now, I ask for 1 full minute of still listening. Do not try to make anything happen. Let thoughts come and go. Treat each thought like a small bird that lands briefly and then flies away. Watch them without chasing. Watch them without feeding them. Return to the breath. If it helps, count breaths very slowly. Inhale for 4 counts. Hold for 2. Exhale for 6. Continue at a pace that feels safe. The counting is a gentle tool. It brings the mind back to the present without harshness. Now imagine light not as a bulb, but as a woven blanket. The blanket is made of many small threads. Kindness, mercy, remembered good, a faithful promise. Each thread is ordinary. Together they provide warmth. Draw the blanket up under the chin. Let the weight be a comfort. The blanket does not hide the sky above. It simply keeps the chill from reaching the bones. I say 1 short line aloud, and then let it rest. Let God be near in this night. The sentence is not long. It is an invitation. Say it once with a slow exhale. Hold it like a gentle stone. The hand that reaches for the stone is steady and kind. Forgiveness is part of this night. Forgiveness does not require a long accounting. It is a small opening. Imagine a window with a latch. When the latch releases, fresh air moves in. The breath feels different. It is cleaner. If regret sits heavy, bring it to that window. Lay it on the sill. Watch as a breeze softens its edges. The breeze here is mercy. It is not harsh. It is measured and kind. I invite 1 more small practical motion. Fold the palms together. Let the thumbs rest lightly. Offer 1 short thing to God in the silence, a single name, a small regret, a tiny plea, or a whisper of thanks. No need for many words. The hand will remember the offering. The heart will notice the act. Gratitude sits beside asking. They are companions, not rivals. After offering what presses, name 1 small good. It can be the color of a cup, the warmth of a scarf, the tone of a voice that was kind. A quiet street watched on the way home. Speak the word in the heart. Let it shine like a match struck in the dark. The light need not be large. It need only be true. I feel the room breathe with us. The lamp spreads a soft circle. The Bible rests, with the weight of pages turned. The covers keep a quiet promise, a company of words that have held these habits before. Trust does not demand proof tonight. It asks only for a willing heart. Think of protection like a sheltering tree. The branches do not fight the wind. They bend and soften the storm's edges. Under the branches is a place to stand while the weather passes. Imagine being under that tree. The ground is steady. The leaves make a slow music. The shelter is patient. Let that patience stay with the chest. If sleep comes now, let it arrive without grudging. If the eyes stay open, let the room be their companion. Wakefulness is not failure. It is a moment in which presence still holds. The body can rest even while the mind keeps small watch. The two can pace each other kindly. I recall quiet hands that have helped in other nights. A neighbor's touch on a sleeve. A friend's brief call with no heavy demands. A child's simple laugh. These small moments have saved many evenings. Hold one memory like a pebble. Let it warm in the hand. The memory is a proof that care exists. Often in small measures. A brief breathing rhythm helps now. Breathe in for a count of 3. Pause, one small beat. Breathe out for a count of 4. The longer exhale slows the nervous system. It creates a small field of calm around the heart. Repeat twice more. With each exhale, imagine a sigh leaving the body that is older than tonight. Sit with a short, inward prayer if that feels right. It can be very plain, a single word like come, hold, or peace. Let the word breathe with the body. Let it be a tiny anchor. The prayer does not need to be ornate to be true. A single sincere word often does the work of a long speech. Mercy is a continuing presence. It returns not in loud trumpets, but in steady smallness. Think of a slow stream that polishes stones for years. The stones do not become new in a day. Au time, they grow smooth. Mercy works this way. Night by night it wears away the roughness. Let that slow work be enough. I will read a short passage now in a measured voice. My reading is not a lesson. It is an offering. The sentences move like soft footsteps across a wooden floor. They do not judge what has been. They bring a steady tone that rests the listening heart. Let each line land where it will. Receive what feels right and leave the rest. After the reading, remain in silence for a long, gentle pause. Let the quiet be full. Imagine a room inside the chest that opens its windows to the same sky. The sky keeps its stars whether or not eyes notice. The constancy is a comfort. Trust that constancy to stay while the mind loosens its hold. If tears come, allow them. Tears are not failure. They are a manner of cleansing. They wash small places that need washing, if numbness sits instead. Look for a softer signal, a slight loosening in the forehead, or a small yawn that announces rest. Both are true movements toward healing. I place my hand on the Bible, and then lift it slowly. The gesture is a small benediction. No heavy words, just a touch that remembers the company of these pages. Let that touch be a symbol. The touch means someone reads with you. Someone keeps salam. Someone offers words that have steadied many nights. Now bring attention to the breath, one final time. Feel the air come in. Feel a small fullness. Breathe out, and imagine a gentle handing over. The action is not magical. It is an honest placing of what presses into a larger care. Do this 3 times. Each time the chest eases a fraction. Finish with a short, steady sentence in the mind rest in this love. Say it slowly. Let the rhythm of the words match the breath. Keep the sentence small and sure. Let it roll like a pebble in the palm. Repeat it if the heart needs a second hearing. If waking comes in the night, return to this room inside. Revisit the harbor, the blanket, the sheltering tree. Place the small paper in the window again. Touch the token on the nightstand. Breathe. The practices are simple. They are there when needed. I will not demand perfect faith or immediate change. That is not the point of this hour. The aim is to offer a place to lay down the day. The aim is to make room for mercy to move. The aim is to let hope take a small, steady form inside the chest. The book closes with a soft sound. The rustle of the cover is like a hinge settling. The lamp lowers to its minimum glow. The room keeps its watchful hush. The silence after a reading is not empty. It is a wide place for the heart to breathe. Before the light goes, a simple blessing rests here. May the heart feel held. May mercy find a path into the tender places. May rest come and be lasting. May morning bring small proofs of good. Receive this blessing as a quiet gift. I stand and let the candle of words go out slowly in the memory. The lamp remains faint for a while. Step into the night, gently. Lay the head down with the hands at ease. Let the breath keep steady and soft. Sleep when it comes, or stay awake and be watched. I will return another evening with more quiet reading. For now, let this time finish with purpose. The room is still. The Bible rests. The presence that cares does not leave. Rest in that truth and be at peace. Good night.